Hey everyone, so it seems like a lot of you got collectively bored of Welcome to Bloxburg, and in today's video we are going to go over some points as to why that can be. So my first and probably biggest point is that there's no goal to work towards except for leveling up in the jobs or leveling up on your skills, but that's about it. You set your own goals, and if you have no goal to set, then there is pretty much nothing to do in Welcome to Bloxburg. So if you feel uncreative or if you don't really want to build or roleplay or whatever, there is literally nothing to do for you, nothing to explore. There is nothing like a progression in Welcome to Bloxburg, and it doesn't try to be one of those games. It is a building game or a roleplay game, however you want to see it, but that's the main problem with these games. You set your own goal. If you don't really have a goal to work towards or you feel unmotivated, nothing is going to motivate you except for yourself and your own ideas. So it's quite important to have those before joining the game. Then this might seem so weird and stupid, but I do think it's a contributing factor as to why Bloxburg is, I don't know, I don't want to say less popular, but why a lot of people feel burned out of Welcome to Bloxburg. I had it too, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. There is too much now. And that sense that builds used to be very simple to build, and like speed builds used to be so popular in 2016, 2017, and all the way through 2018 as well, I think. And then they started to die out because they got so much more detailed. There was also this trend of not really knowing how to combine colors, so you just decide to paint everything white, and then there's white farmhouses and white everything. Literally everything had to be white at one point, and those were the only lesser detailed builds, or how would I say it, the only builds that were still easy to copy, so everyone went with those. But then they got bored of them and they wanted something that really kept its interest, because looking at an all-white build all day is not going to motivate you to stay. A lot of people also just built too many houses already, and now they are done and they don't want to build any more houses. They've seen every nook and corner of the game and they just don't want to stay in the game, and now there is a lot to do, which can be overwhelming for a lot of people. It's also not as easy to copy builds from other players, and you kind of feel forced to use everything. So in that sense, using the basic shapes, etc. can be a little bit of a hassle for you, and you're not obligated to use them, but you still feel like your house is under detailed if you build a house like you did it in 2017, 2018, because there is just so much more now, and it can be overwhelming to a lot of players building a house because it takes so much more time now than it used to be, and a lot of houses just stand out more because of the amount of detail they have now. And it used to be like very simple back in the days when we didn't have as much to add to our builds, and so it was also easier to build a very good house that a lot of people would like. And so with that said, the pros are shining at this point. So there used to be a very streamlined idea of like builders, but like everyone could do it and everyone was able to build a very nice build. Even if you weren't the best builder, you could still have a very nice build and like start up your own channel if you wanted to. But now there are so many amazing pro builders who do have a lot of time to build and do have a lot of time to focus on details and do not get bored of doing that, while other people are kind of stuck, which is not a bad thing, of course. I'm one of those people, are kind of stuck with, I kind of want to keep it simple, but keeping it simple is not good anymore in 2021. So you kind of feel forced to go the other way, and it just bores you out. You like the part where you built the house, you like the part where you furnished the house, but the detailing part is just such an extra step to you that you just don't want to build anymore, and I completely get that. Then another point I want to touch on is that the sense of community is disappearing just a little bit. The community is getting bigger every day, but I feel like most people are now focusing on their own thing, while it used to be a collective thing. We do have the co-owner permissions, which are amazing, so you can build together, but I feel like a lot of people now make these huge builds that are over detailed and almost reach the plot value, which used to be only half the size. Now it's double the size of what it used to be, and I feel like a lot of people are just focusing on their own thing and not really looking at what other members in the community do, and that's completely fine if you want to do that, but the sense of community is disappearing just a little bit in my opinion, just because the community is so big now and a lot of people are focusing on their own thing. And then of course the thing I probably mentioned in every single video, but it is true, we had the same plain map for 5 years. In the beginning, when you play, the map seems a little bit overwhelming, but you get to know it quickly, you get to know your way around it quickly, and adding the highway was not really a thing I was a supporter of, because I knew it was something that people would use once and then never use again. I was hoping more stuff was going to be added to the sides of the highway, but didn't really happen except for the gas station. And then one time we had the Roblox battles plot, which was amazing. That was something that I really liked, and I wish we had more community creations that shined on the map, because that would bring back that kind of sense of community and inspire people to build something to add to the Bloxburg map. Like, how amazing would it be if you added a challenge and then that was added to the Bloxburg map? Like, how proud must you be to see that 100,000 people are playing, and knowing that like 20-30% of them are doing your challenge right now? How amazing would that be? But yes, I think we are all bored of the map now. We had it for 5 years, and that brings me to my next point. I feel like, compared to other games on the popular page right now, the Bloxburg map and a lot of stuff around it kind of feels dated. And that's where I think Bloxburg is struggling to get a new audience. An audience that already has houses, already has a high level in work and stuff like that. So there's not much more to do for people who have been playing for a long time. And I feel like it's struggling to meet the amount of new players it had when it had its boost in like 2017, 2018, somewhere like that. So I feel like a lot of the old players are just moving on to new games, and new players aren't really coming to Welcome to Bloxburg. Bloxburg is also a game that focuses on teens more than kids, in my opinion, although the role-playing has gotten a lot better over the years. But Brookhaven and Adopt Me and Royal High all have those like tiny, I don't want to say childish, but they have more colorful stuff to it that attracts more children than teens, I guess. And like, teens probably move on to other games. There have been a lot of other games coming up as well. And maybe Bloxburg feels a little bit dated in there if you compare it to other games right now, like having updates and stuff like that. But keep in mind that, for example, Adopt Me also has a very, very big team that works on updates. So Coeptus and Froggy Hops are doing it alone, so you need to give them credit for that as well. So in conclusion, why I think people are getting collectively bored of Welcome to Bloxburg is because everyone already has a house and there is not really a goal to work towards, because it is a free game and you are free to do whatever you want. But once you already have done everything, then you probably just get bored and leave, and maybe come back if you want to build a new house, because the game is really good. And I think at this point it's really way better when it comes to building than The Sims 4 is. They added so much more, and The Sims 4 is still struggling behind on that. So I think in that part, Bloxburg is amazing, and I wish if there is ever a new map that it will attract a new audience to Welcome to Bloxburg, because I do think Bloxburg deserves more credit because it is amazing, and the way everything works together is just so well done. Mad props to Coeptus and Froggy for that, because the game just feels so coherent, and I don't know, it's just one of those games that is solid gold to me, but I'm biased. And then of course, I forgot to mention, but a lot of people also hate working, so working is definitely a big struggle for builders, because they spent millions on their build and then they have to work like 2-3 full days to get that money back, and at one point they get bored of that, so they just quit and move on to something else, I guess. So anyways, I'm gonna leave it at this. Let me know why you got bored of Welcome to Bloxburg, or if you still love it. Are you a new player or an old player? I'm definitely interested in that question. When did you start playing Bloxburg? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, and please subscribe.